A gentleman at the back, yes, Wagdi.
Wagdi Abdelaziz, journalist for the Egyptian television. I'm asking about India because we hear that women leadership depends on families. We hear the Iran, of course, but in fact we need to know how we come to be the biggest democracy in the world without good stability for a style of parties. Now we have knowing that in India, the Bharatiya Janata is a very, very rightist party now in power. We need to know how it comes while we are trying to improve the situation of women, and we find at last the rightist wing party in power. Thank you.
Yes, earlier in India, you had to have political family linkages in order to come up. And today that scenario has changed. We have a lot of women who have risen from the ranks and who have made it to the top. So for example, you look at the Chief Minister of Bengal, West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, or you look at, the former Chief Minister of UP, Mayawati. They didn't have any political families that they belonged to. So this is how, the democratic structure has been functioning in our country. And I think it is really remarkable that women have achieved these heights on their own. It doesn't mean yet that they haven't had, political mentors who are, men. So for example, if you look at Mayawati, she had this connection with this male leader, the Dalit leader Kanchiram, who supported her. So yes, mentorship is very much required even for these women to come up from the ranks. Finally, when you say that why has the rightist party now come into power in India? There are so many reasons for it. Number one, let me tell you, they have come to power by default because the Congress party had become so corrupt that people were fed up. They had no other choice but to give the right party a chance. It's simply by default. And you could also say that anti-incumbency factor was very high at this time, when we had the elections. But, we can talk about this later on because it doesn't directly deal with, the current topic. Thank you.
Sahar?
Sahar Taman, thank you all for thought-provoking and discussion. So my question is about the 33% in India. So as you know, I'm sorry, I don't understand the entire context. So is this what one might be called in the United States affirmative action, that on every local council there is a quota for women to fill 33% of the spaces? If this is the case, is this also that long-term effort on a national level to fill the houses, the congressional houses, in the same? And if that really is the case of the quota system, is this what we are seeking? Are we looking for balance through quotas? And if that's the case, why wouldn't it be 50%, for example, or whatever the current situation is at? Just to clarify. Thank you.
Yeah. You see, this is what the feminists started with. They started with 33% of reservation, the quota system, or affirmative action. And however, let me tell you that it was our Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi who gave 33% reservation to women in the Panchayati Raj, in the rural parts of India. It was not Mrs. Gandhi when she was in power. She didn't do anything for women. It was her son who, came up, with this scheme. And it has been very successful in India. Yes, currently women are now saying, if 33% is what we've been fighting for, but now we can go ahead for 50%. So the shift has taken place from 33 to 50. So, but they're just waiting for the first 33% to be passed in the Lok Sabha.
And the quota is essential.
Yeah, that is, quota is, yes, it is essential. You have to have. But some members of parliament have been arguing that the parties themselves should have 33% quota first within, their own party system. Before, you can actually give them the candidacy. For example, if you look at the left parties in India, the Communist Party, they have the Politburo. They don't have a single woman representative there. So they're saying, why are you fighting for women's emancipation when you don't even have a single woman representative in your Politburo? So start from within the party. Then you move out. Thank you.
Dr. Aliyev.
Actually, I had a question for Gina because she was speaking about the choice of selecting my masculine power and my feminine power. Is it something that it can be done with the consciousness, or it is more? There's more than just having that kind of two aspects within that you are moving spontaneously or it's consciously. So that's the question. The other question that I noticed with Rosiva and Renuka, we are talking about feminine and masculine from women and men, equality, gender equality. In our book, A Force That the World Has Never Known, and in the Swedish lady who talked about the woman's status in Sweden, for us, and from personal experience, because I have my nephew who lived there, Sweden seems like a paradise for equality between men and women. But underneath, when we read the chapter, then still men are discriminating against women. So the point is not of gender equality as much as, this is essential to give women equal chances to go and have leadership, whether in India, in Egypt, or Sweden, or anywhere. But that we need more of that kind of spirituality behind the needs, so that we can actually motivate that kind of change, social change, to be effective. So this is my comment. So from this perception, I'm just responding to the comments that was raised before about ideology and religion and spirituality and cultural diversities and all these kind of things. Yes, we have to respect diversities, that's for sure. And if we are trying to dominate, then certainly then we are going to be using the masculine aspects of, just controlling the other people. Then we have to embrace. But with this embrace, we have to deal with ourselves, to release the conflict within ourselves. Seeing what the oneness behind the diversities, seeking for this kind of oneness, because any diversities which can bring us to conflicts and wars, then we have to resolve this kind of reasons why we are creating conflict and wars, while we are inside, we have something that we share as human beings in common. So we have to differentiate between sociologically accepted ideas and ideologies and spiritually, and the oneness of our spirituality. And maybe I can deal with this further in other presentations.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. Tina? Okay, Lovisa first.
Yeah, I can comment on the Swedish statistics and gender equality. The statistics says that, of course, Sweden is a progressive country when it comes to parenthood and equal opportunities. But what we can show and see historically is that it tends to be fairly easy. I wouldn't say easy because that would be to diminish all the women's thoughts in history, to reach a certain level in society, a certain percentage of representation, you would say. But now Sweden has been standing still for such a long time. So other countries are reaching our levels that we reached in the 90s, but we have difficulties just going over that level? Will that increase or that? So there are a lot of challenges in Sweden, especially when it comes to violence towards women. That tends to be something that's universal, no matter what social status, economical level in your country, etc. Yeah, if that's okay as an answer.
You know, I don't want to get involved because I don't want to take the time of other people. But the point that I wanted to make is, one level is to encourage women to get in equal position in a society, and the other level is to make the society ready to accept that kind of change. Because legal system or education without spiritual balance then will not succeed. This is from one point of view. And in your country, that it proves this. It proves my vision, because on legal system and education, it seems like equality is there. But why there is violence? Why there is discrimination? Why culturally women are not accepted? Because there was some kind of spiritual imbalance which needs to be addressed with the legal, of course, thing. So that's the point that's I wanted to make.
A very brief comment, sorry, just a very brief comment on that. So that's your theory, and I respect that. My theory is that as long as there are persons in society who are not willing to let go of their power, there will not be equality. And that doesn't matter if it's men who won't let go of their power, or if it's white people who have privileges in society. The equality balance will not change. And I think that's what's the matter in Sweden and all over the world. As long as I'm not willing to give up some of my privileges, other people's will not rise.
Dr. Alia, I think I agree with you entirely. I think that external empowerment through quality, economy and society is not sufficient. You need your inner empowerment through spirituality. But for this to happen, I think you really need to go through a crisis in the worldly paradigm that everybody is existing in. Till that doesn't happen, you will not be able to tap your spiritual aspect. And once you have been able to tap that, that's a time, when you can respect both cultural relativity and universalism. So all religions, ideologies at a relative level, yes, they exist. But the ultimate reality of oneness is also recognized simultaneously. Thank you.
One of the main questions in every spiritual tradition is question of determination and free will. If everything is determined, then why should I do something? Because everything will be like it should be. And the other side, if I have free will, then for what do I need spiritual tradition? And actually, Ibn Arabi, he explains is that it exists in the same time one in another. The system I choose is the system which will be also like around me. So how I act, the same actions I will get like after my death or here in the same time. So this is a question of choice. If really I want to be a leader, it means I want to take responsibility. Then actually I will develop more masculine aspects. If I want to make other leaders, like a mother, if she oppresses her child, he becomes very weak and stupid. If she gives her power to grow him up, he will be successful. Then it's women's feminine power to make others strong, to be on the second plane. It's also very good not to be so egoistic. That's why it's good to have balance. Then I will choose feminine style and I will change it. I know very many women in Russia, women who change the lifestyle. Before that, were like, it's better not to to meet them, not to fight with them. They were very strong, but now they have completely different qualities. They still have this power, but they use it in a very different way. So you can change it during your life. Like your power will be the same, even more, because you will have both legs, both hands. But you will choose how to use here, and different periods of your life you can do this way and this way. And on the other way, some ladies...
But Tina, it's a conscious choice, not by instinct?
There are two choices. One is from your real heart, and runs from your mind and nafs, ego. So some ladies, they have problem like, oh, my husband is so weak, but actually they want to be leaders, but they don't want to take responsibility. I want him to bring money, to solve my problems, I will do nothing, and I will rule him. They want a servant, that's why they have weak husband. Okay, if you want a strong husband, then you should let him grow up, don't judge him, help him. They really actually want to be a leader, so everything is right. You can be a leader, you can be like a feminine type of human being, but just be honest with you what you really want. Otherwise, this internal conflict will bring many problems in life. So when we are honest with ourselves, this is the main point. If I want to be a leader, okay, no problem. If I want to be like not leader, it's also no problem. I will develop other things, but not like, you know, to use others to do this. So you can change. It takes some time. Actually, in my experience, after 3, 4, 5 years, you can change completely your life to one point or another, or balance.
We have time for one last question before the coffee break. Whose question is it? No raised hands? What about the young people at the back? Yeah. There is? Yeah. Okay. The young man.
Yeah, I have Adam Salim. I have a question about gender equality. You know, we are just looking for the word with the fresh eyes, but when we hear gender equality, it looks like butterflies everywhere starts to appear. But gender equality is it work together with the women's rights? You know, when I hear gender equality, I just think in my mind and say it. What gender we have to support, male or female? You know, gender equality, it's specifically for women or for men. You know, both of us works together, but sometimes I feel like women's rights works together with the gender equality. You know, gender equality was established for women, not for men. Somehow, I think so. I don't know, but I just want you to clear it.
Who would like to answer that?
Actually, there is a reason why Allah gave you man's body and for me women's body. And there are two variants. Like, first one, if, for example, I'm in a women's body, it wasn't my case, but I'm very strong in feminine qualities, and I spread them to other people to teach how to be how to develop feminine qualities to everyone, actually, not only women. And other thing, when my masculine qualities became, you know, very tough, so I became too aggressive, or I use it in wrong way. Then also I can get women's body to be able to change it, because in society I will have some like resistance. If I'm too aggressive, people will stop me. They can put me to prison, beat me, or at least not contact with me. So we always should think why I have this body. For what reason? What should I develop? What is better for me? Actually, also I travel what I see. In traditional countries, mostly women have like feminine way of thinking of soul, you know. They follow this way. They don't even want sometimes to go out to work. They really enjoy this life. In Western countries, women mostly, they have this wish to be leaders. That's why they were born in these countries. Sometimes, after some while, like me, they change this lifestyle. Because, okay, I'm fine here, now I want also to be fine here. But this is choice. But before 25, I couldn't do this. I like martial arts, you know, business, this. I was like, I like this lifestyle. Now I don't need martial arts. If somebody wants, he can do. I don't need. So I feel it different. But it's also, I enjoy this life also now. So actually, we just should respect rights of everyone and support people. Like, if he wants to follow this way, we support him, we respect him. If he or she wants to follow this way, we respect this. So we should fight for, not fight actually, work for rights, for love, for peace in every country, in every place.
But excuse me, can I add something? I didn't hear someday men looking for his rights, you know. I mean, like, women was looking for the rights, but we don't look for. I don't know how it came, how it starts. But I mean gender equality where men don't need gender equality, you know. We have all our rights, you know. Women health conferences and health initiatives and organizations to their rights, but we don't. We have our rights, you know.
You know, when you're talking about gender equality, I think we can't actually talk in arithmetical terms. First of all, it has to be seen in proportional terms. And for women, you really need to look at the fact whether they have a choice and opportunity in whatever they want to do. I think that principle is more important. And we should be able to respect the differences between men. We don't have to be the same, but yet it doesn't mean that we are not equal. So in India, I can give you an example how, in fact, men, they are suffering from a mother consciousness. They think, you know, that mothers are dominating them, that they are totally under the control of their mothers. And that is why you have this syndrome of the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, where, you know, poor daughter-in-law is suffering because the husband is so much under the power of the mother. So even men need to, you know, fight for their rights.
Final comment from
Just
Lisa.
one small comment. You should allow other people to struggle for their rights until they don't like destroy your rights. If they go beyond the line and they don't respect your rights, you can push them back. It's your duty, actually. Otherwise, the ego, you know, will spread much more, and it also will be unbalanced. So, just balance.
Yes, I think the answer depends on which glasses we're wearing, and what you hear also depends on which glasses you are wearing. As a human rights educator, I know for sure that there are groups in society that need specific rights to be risen, and there are human rights conventions and declarations that are specifically targeting these groups in society that needs the special care. So that's my answer. I can't answer anything else when it comes to gender equality, but it all depends on what you want to hear and what we want to say.
Let's give them a big hand. Wonderful panel. Many thanks to all the speakers and the moment we've all been waiting for, the coffee break. But a reminder, we'll be back here in half an hour at 12:30 exactly for our next panel.